would be the function of your masks? Because in primitive art, they had a performative role, and their function was fulfilled only when they were worn. So do you try to retain the function of mask, or?
I'm not. I think I'm only using the idea of the mask. It is not, and maybe like associations that come with it of some ritual or like some kind of rite of passage or whatever, you know, that is all just part of the sort of you know, like what the work is sort of hinting towards. But I mean, there is no specific. I'm not trying to say that there's a specific ritual, or you know, it's much more. It's much looser than that. It's like basically, in the same way that like how you would say Picasso was influenced by African masks that he bought. I mean, it helped him to realize and make like amazing changes in his work. And you know, so it's when you look at another art form that is so strong in the way that it has been developed, that you realize that you need to do that to what you're doing, you know, because it's just necessary to achieve that level, you know, of complexity. And but it's not about a specific. It's not about like what you said. Am I trying to do what masks are traditionally supposed to do? No, I'm just using them because, you know, that's how I like to see them.
As a starting point. As a starting point.
Yeah, I mean, to me they are sculptures, you know, so they don't have a you know, you're not supposed to put them on. You're supposed to leave them where they are. But yeah, I want them to just you know, be sort of hopefully be, you know, like complex sculptures, you know, where the use of non-traditional materials is allowing them a certain amount of freedom, you know, which is not restricting what they could be or what they are, you know. So they kind of can, they have a larger sort of landscape, you know, to exist in.
Maybe to make the relation between the masks and like the sculptures and the paintings, like how did you came back, or just did you came to the painting, and does one process, like artistic process, helps you for the other? Do you come, like, do you make sketches for your sculptures, or yeah, what is like the relation between both material and?
I don't really make so many. I mean, I make sometimes very simple sketches for my sculpture. It's more, it's in my head more, and then I have to figure out dimensions and sizes. And but I mean, like some people make really beautiful, you know, drawings before they work, but I don't end up doing the. But I have been working on drawings and the sculpture at the same time now for a few years, and I've begun to notice that they definitely feed off of each other. So the drawings become a lot more sculptural in a way, and I think even with these pastels, I've been doing like these pastel heads of these kind of monsters for a few years, and but the ones that you see in this show have sort of become a little bit more complex in a way, and I increase the size, and you just have to do simple things sometimes, and suddenly you allow yourself to, you know, add a few things that you didn't in the, you know. So I think also how in these drawings there's sort of like a layering of faces which is happening, and I think that has to do with the way that they are made, because they're not made really fast. They actually take a bit of time, and sometimes they are worked quite a bit, and if you look closely, sometimes the paper is even because I don't use pastel in a traditional way, but I mix water with it, and I mean, basically there are no rules. So materials sometimes resist each other, but that is the process. So sometimes they can start off a certain way, but then they'll end up looking very different, you know. So, but I like the more you work on them, then the more complex they become. So.
I was looking at the structure of the masks, and I was wondering if you studied anatomy at all of different skulls, of human skulls and things like that, and if that factored at all into the process.
No, I guess it was, I mean, I went to art school, so you have to learn how to draw. And I used to draw a lot when I was younger, before that. And so, you know, you do, I think it's important, I mean, for me, it has been to know basic anatomy and, you know, proportions and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, yeah, because the more you know it, then, I mean, then you can distort as much as you want, you know. So, but there's always, you can tell that the person knows how to draw, you know. That's just, even if it looks very, you know, abstracted or whatever. I mean, you know, sometimes even like other people's drawings, like Matisse or somebody, you know, it's like, I mean, he knows what he's doing. It doesn't matter whether it's just, you know, one line, you know, but it's all about being completely confident about the proportions, you know. So yeah, I mean, you need a little bit of yeah. I mean, in my bigger sculptures, even in that, I mean, it's much looser, but you do need to have. Then the proportion works in a different way, because it's not like you're trying to make something lifelike, or at least I'm not, but it does have life, you know. So, but it's about like I said before, it's like when you start to build the armature of something, and it's how you're it's like formalism. So you have to balance things, and in many ways, my work is very formal, because I'm responding to materials and I'm also responding to things that I'm doing, you know, so I have to balance those out. Does that answer your